TOEFL Secrets viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone. In this video we're gonna have some negative questions practice. Okay, we have now our first question for today's video. Stop the video and try to solve it. Okay, all of the following are mentioned in paragraph 5 as possible reasons that led societies to develop the theater except. Okay, in order for us to solve the except or the negative questions correctly, the best strategy to solve this type of questions is to read the answer choices first. It's exactly the opposite of the previous methodology that we used to solve the rest or the other types of questions. The other type of questions, we used to read the paragraph first, then we move to read the answer choices. We do this in all the different or the other types of questions. But in this type, the except or the negative, we read the answer choices first. Then we read the paragraph. Because if you want to answer this question correctly, we must read the whole paragraph and evaluate each and every answer choice by reading the whole paragraph. Okay, now let's begin reading the first answer choice. A. Theater allows people to face that they are afraid of. B. Theater gives an opportunity to imagine a better reality. C. The theater is a way to enjoy imitating other people. D. Theater provides people the opportunity to better understand the human mind. Okay, now let's read our keywords. And this question is theater. In addition to exploring the possible antecedents of theater, scholars have also theorized about motives that led people to develop the theater. Why did theater develop, and why was it valued after it ceased to fulfill the function or ritual? Most answers fall back on the theater and theories about the human mind and basic human needs. One set forth by Aristotle in the 4th century BC sees humans as natural imitative, as taking pleasure in imitating persons. Okay, we read about this. So here, the choice that talks about imitating is C. There is a way to enjoy imitating other people. We cross this out because we found it here. Sees human as naturally imitative, as taking pleasure in imitating persons, things, actions, and in seeing such. Another, advanced in the 20th century, suggests that humans have gifts for fantasy, through which they seek to reshape the reality into more satisfying forms than those encountered in daily life. So, fantasy and reshaping. We read about this in answer choice B. Theater gives an opportunity to imagine a better reality. Imagination and fantasy. Thus, fantasy or fiction, of which drama is one form, permits people to objectify their anxieties and fears, confront them. Okay, so confronting fears, which we can see it in A. Theater allows people to face that they are afraid of. We are left with D, so this is the answer. We don't need to read the rest because we want to save time, but as long as we don't have time here, we should read to make sure. Permits people to objectify their anxieties and fears, confront them, and fulfill their hopes in fiction, if not fact. The theater is one tool whereby people define and understand their world or escape from unpleasant realities. Okay, so the answer is D, because the text did not talk about understanding the human mind. It talked about the understanding of the world and escape from unpleasant realities. Okay, now let's solve the question number 2. Stop the video and solve it. According to the paragraph, all of the following statements are true of plants in the alpine zone except. Let's read the answer choices. Because they are low, they are less exposed to strong winds. Because they are low, the winter snow cover gives them more protection from the extreme cold. In the equatorial mountains, they tend to be lower than in mountains elsewhere. D. Their low growth form keeps them closer to the ground where there is more heat than further up. Okay, so now let's read. The most striking characteristic of the plants of the alpine zone is their low growth form. This enables them to avoid the worst rigorous of high winds and permits them to make use. This is another point. So the first point here is saying this enables them to avoid worst rigorous of high winds. So avoiding winds. We can see this in the answer choice A, because they are low, they are less exposed to strong winds. So this is out. And the second point in this sentence was it permits them to make use of higher temperatures immediately adjacent to the ground surface. We can see this in point D. Their low growth form keeps them closer to the ground where there is more heat than further up. Okay, in an area where low temperatures are limiting to life, the importance of the additional heat near the surface is crucial. The low growth form can also permit the plants to take advantage of insulation provided by a winter snow cover. We can see this point written in the answer choice B. Because they are low, the winter snow cover gives them more protection from extreme cold. Okay, so our answer here is C. If you are solving in the real exam, you don't need to read the rest. You just choose C and move on. But now in this case, we don't have exam, we don't have time. So we're gonna read to make sure of our sentence. Answer: in the equatorial mountains, the low growth form is less prevalent. And C here says in the equatorial mountains, they tend to be lower than in mountains elsewhere. No, we didn't read something about mountains to be lower than in mountains elsewhere. So C is the answer. Okay, now solve the question number 3. According to the paragraph, all of the following were true of viewing films in kind stone parlors, except one individual at a time viewed a film. Customers could view one film after another. Prize fights were the most popular subjects for films. Each film was short. Now, let's read the paragraph. Okay, our keywords here is kind stone. So, let's read from Thomas Edison's peep show. The kind telescope was introduced to the public in 1894. It was designed for the use in kind telescope parlors or arcades, which contains only a few individuals' machines and permit only one customer to view a short foot film at any one time. So we have here the first answer, which is the customer to view short film. We can find this in answer choice A. One individual at a time. In D, each film was short. and also an A, because A says one individual at a time viewed a film, so only one person can see a film. Okay, the first kinetoscope parlors contain 5 machines for the price of 25 cents. Customers moved from machine to watch 5 different films. So we can see this expressed in B. Customers could view one film after another. Okay, now the answer is C. Let's make sure. Or in the case of famous prize fights, successive rounds, a single fight. So C here saying that prize fights were the most popular subjects for films. On the other hand, in the paragraph, it addressed the prize fights, but they didn't talk about the popular subject, or they didn't even mention something regarding the prize fights to be popular subject. So C is the wrong answer. We choose C. Now, our last question for today's video. According to the paragraph, all of the following statements about Oglala Aquifer are true except. Stop the video and solve it. Now let's read the answer choices. The aquifer stretches from South Dakota to Texas. B. The aquifer's water comes from the underground springs. Water has been gathering in the aquifer for 30,000 years. D. The aquifer's water is stored in a layer of sandstone. The Oglala's aquifer is a sandstone formation that underlies some. Okay, from this sentence, we find the first answer choice, the sandstone formation that comes under some, blah blah blah. So the answer is D, is found in the paragraph, so this is out. Now let's move to the next one. Extending from the northwestern Texas to the South Dakota. We can see this expressed in the answer choice A. The aquifer stretches from the South Dakota to Texas. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Water from rains and melting snow has been accumulating in the Oglala for the past 30,000 years. Estimates indicate that the aquifer contains enough water to fill Lake Horn, but unfortunately, under the semi-arid climatic conditions that presently exist in the region, rates of addition to the aquifer are minimal, amounting to about half centimeter a year. So C is out because we read this sentence. Water has been gathering in the aquifer for 30,000 years. Water from rains and melting snows has been accumulating in Oglala for past 30,000 years. So this is our answer. We should cross it out. And then the right answer to this question is B, because we didn't read about it. They didn't mention something about the springs to be underground. Okay guys, I hope this makes sense. That's it for today. If you liked and enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to get the notification bell on so you have all the recent TOEFL videos. And don't forget to comment, share it with your friends and everyone who wants to study for TOEFL. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next videos.